It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
I'm excited for the podcast today. And I hope it is an enjoyable one to you as well. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Today, we start something different at the end of the podcast that will happen every Friday for the next 2.5 months. Survivor is back, and it's my favorite show on television. So we talk Survivor at the end of the Friday episode every single week. So you'll get the same podcast as usual. You'll get the regular conversation for the majority of the beginning part of the podcast. We'll do Kelly's What Are You Into? We'll get into comments, and then we'll go into Survivor. Oh, I need some kind of jingly thing to get into Survivor talk. I didn't make one of those. Dang it. I've got my Kelly's What Are You Into slide. If you're watching on YouTube, which, by the way, if you're somebody who has subscribed recently to the YouTube channel, thank you. I appreciate it. And to the people who have been liking the videos, thank you. We are just dominating YouTube with views. I think we're almost getting to 30 an episode. Now, it means a lot. I do appreciate the people. That actually is a real number, but I do appreciate the people who are taking time to check out the YouTube. Also, still awesome if you're listening to it on whatever podcast service you use. And if you're one of the people who actually goes to the website shawnslife.com and listens to them directly there, that's cool also. I just appreciate you taking the time to listen to the podcast. Spend a couple minutes of your day with the Sean Widmer podcast group. Okay, we've got to talk sandwiches, but before we get into sandwiches, there is something my children do, and I think all kids do this, that is ridiculously infuriating as a parent. And why they do this, I do not know. Because if you asked me, I feel like it'd be awesome to have someone every day just dress you and get you ready for your day while you held your favorite book. Sounds very easy. It is not that way for a child. And when your kid is fighting you to get their clothes on, and you finally get that first pant leg on, and you're like, we've got it. We're 50% of the way there. And then they do this move that I don't even know how it's possible, but they sort of kick and jimmy their foot, inverting the pant leg so that their foot is now hidden in pants, and the pant leg is inside out with just one of the legs. And it is an impossible thing to reconfigure it. You just have to take the whole pant leg off. That is one of the worst moves a child can make to mentally break a parent. Why? My son has been on a tear with it, and he's so quick about it. I'll get that first pant leg on. He's fighting me. He's letting me hear it. He's starting to get mad, kind of wants to cry a little bit. Oh, he's mad at dad, and then he just busts that leg out, and I'm like, my guy. Now you're getting close, dude. You're getting close. Now I'm gonna have to sit on legs. Now I'm gonna have to put pressure on legs. We got to get these pants on, brother. You can't leave the house without them. We're going to the trampoline park. I'm putting these pants on so we can do something you love. Why are you ripping your leg out, dude? That move is dreadfully awful. Oh my goodness. Okay, I needed to get that off my chest. Speaking of dreadfully awful, I made an audible today. Thanks to some of you fine folks giving me the heads up that making slime is actually terrible. Johnny Drez came in hot. He said slime is terrible. I don't have my phone with me. I would read the text, but he said something to the extent of slime is awful. And so between him and a couple other people who reached out and said slime can get really messy making it, I punted on it. The problem is what I went to then was really not great as a substitute for slime, because what did I do? I panicked. I'm like, what can we do now? I promised my daughter we would do some kind of craft today. She was excited about it. And so I think she thought it was going to be slime. I'm thankful I didn't say we are making slime tomorrow. So I went and I cut a bunch of shapes real quick out of construction paper, and I had maybe 50 little shapes cut out, and then I gave her a couple pieces of construction paper and some glue. And I was like, we get to glue these shapes onto the construction paper. Right? How cool is that? I was like, then we can color it. This will be great. And so she starts doing it, and she's having an okay time. She's picking up the shapes I got, and she's putting them on the paper. And then she looks at me dead in the eyes and says, Dad, we do this at school. And she said it with like this sweetheart voice of, we do this. Like, this is what we do. I do this with my friends at school. The problem is she also had this tone of like, hey, bud, why am I doing schoolwork at home with you? This is not a fun project. I do this every day at my school. You aren't creative. And it hit me wrong. And I'm looking at what we're doing. I'm like, yeah, you're actually right. This is not a fun, hey, Dad's about to bring down the house with an awesome craft project that's going to last forever. We make slime. It's going to live in the house for at least a week. And it's going to be a prized possession. She finished up gluing these things, and she might as well have just walked the construction paper to the garbage and put it in. She finished it, and she's like, oh, that was cool. And she just kind of like threw it onto the counter, never to care again, never went back to it. And I thought, okay, well, we failed miserably with a substitute project for slime. So I'm going to have to revisit that. I've got to, the internet's probably going to be my friend. I'm going to have to get out there and figure out what it is you parents are doing that isn't slime, but that your kid can make and also keep for more than 5 seconds. Gonna have to have it. Okay, let's just do one more quick kid story, then we'll get into sandwich talk, because I want to do sandwich talk. I had the day also. The day yesterday was just wild. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't feeling it mentally. I'm talking about, what was this, Wednesday? I'm recording this on Thursday night, so it was Wednesday. So we're getting through the day. Huck and I have hung out. He was all over the place. I'm starting to get that mid-afternoon. I'm getting tired. We've done our little arts and crafts thing, and it's getting to be about 3:50, 3:45, and I'm like, oh man, I'm getting tired. But these kids are wound up, ready to go. So I am just like trying my hardest to just persevere to bedtime. And we've played with every toy. Huck and I played with every toy 50 times. It was a stormy day in Lexington, so it was not a go outside day. So I'm kind of in the house feeling like a prisoner a little bit. And I go, okay, you know what? I'm going to make a game. So I got a couple bouncy balls, and I got a bunch of little different sized buckets and bowls, put them in the hallway, and the kids would throw the ball and it'd bounce down, and we'd see which bucket it would land in. And they're loving it. And I'm like, okay, this is great. This is going to get us to dinner time. So we're doing this, and we do it, and I feel like, oh my goodness, we have been doing this for 3 hours. These kids are loving it. I have missed dinner. So I run to the kitchen. I mentioned on the last podcast, we're doing macaroni and cheese. So I start boiling the water, and I'm like, okay, we got to get this going. They're going to be starving. Macaroni and cheese, I get it done. I get the other stuff, the fruits and veggies on the plate. I'm hyped. I look at the clock. It is 4:28. The 3 hours of me throwing this ball down the hallway had been about 12 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. It felt like I had survived multiple days, and it had been 20 minutes. And then I had made dinner without even looking at a clock, just panic. And we now had dinner ready at 4:28. And I'm like, this is the kind of day we're having. We're eating dinner. We're sitting around the table at 4:40 p.m. eating dinner an hour, 50 minutes earlier than we normally do. And that was when I also realized, I'm like, oh, that means that we now have a longer time between dinner and shower and bedtime. Wednesday drug. Wednesday was a long one. But you know what? 4:30 dinner. We got it done. The kids ate. We went back to the normal routine tonight. They ate a lot better. The night went a lot smoother. But Wednesday was a day. Okay, can we talk sandwiches? I met with a buddy today. Met with Vandy. He introduced me to a new spot in Lexington. And I love a good sandwich. I loved sandwiches back home in Spokane, whether it was the French dip at the Elk or the Godfather at Caruso's. Man, I miss that sandwich. I'm not a die-hard sandwich guy, but I do like a sandwich. I guess if I'm going to a restaurant and I'm picking it, I'm probably not picking a sandwich shop. I'm going to go somewhere where I can get pizza. I'm going to go somewhere where I can get tacos. That's probably where I'm going. But I respect the sandwich, and when I end up at a sandwich spot for lunch or dinner, I'm fine finding a sandwich, and I enjoy it when I get it. So today I was excited because this is supposed to be a good sandwich shop. And we go in Winchell's. Winchell's. I need to remember their slogan. Their slogan absolutely ruled. I wanted to bring this place up because it is now skyrocketing up my favorite restaurants or places I've been to in Lexington. I mean, this place ruled. So here's what their sign says: Winchell's Restaurant and Sports Bar, better food, more televisions. What a slogan. What an absolute slogan. So this place rocks. I'm trying to think, if you are listening in Lexington, you probably know what this is. If you're listening in Spokane, I would say it is kind of a, why can't I remember the place down the street from the Yak that was super duper popular? Hang on. This is on the fly Google searching. The Yak, Spokane. Watch, we're gonna do a drive. Where I'm gonna use Google Maps to drive down the street and go to the business that I'm trying to think of, because I want to give it its proper due. Oh no, where are you? Where is she? Screaming Yak is what I'm talking about. Where the heck? What? Why can't I find it? I see the building. Swinging Doors. My good Lord. Swinging Doors. Previous sponsor of the Dick Allen Slim Show. This is probably why they didn't sponsor it the entirety of our run, because I forgot their business. Swinging Doors. I love Swinging Doors in Spokane. Winchell's would have been like that. For those of you who are not from either place, it's kind of your sports bar pub, but that has a really solid breakfast menu that I'm assuming they serve most of the day. So it's made for that Sunday football. You get there really early. Saturday morning for you soccer fans. Excuse me, you get there really early. Oh, did I just die? I still haven't got rid of the cough. Hang on. I think I am dying. Hold. All right, I'm back. Wow. But it's got that pub vibe that leans towards breakfast. Anyways, it was really awesome. Really, really good food. I got a sandwich that was to die for. So I was talking sandwiches with Vandy because he got a ham sandwich that looked awesome. It looked really, really good. And I got a special, one of their specials. It was a spicy chicken sandwich. Now, don't be too mad. I'm not a huge crispy or fried chicken sandwich guy. Not my favorite. But this was grilled chicken. It was really, really just perfect chicken. And it had just a ton of Swiss cheese on top of it. Like I said, jalapenos, green peppers. It was wonderful sandwich. And so I don't know why when I left there, I was like, what is the sandwich of America? What is the sandwich of America? What are people getting? Well, this is when I realized we needed to talk about sandwiches on the podcast, because when you do a little Google search and you start researching sandwiches, one of the things that comes up is Sandwich Trends, a 2024 report that says this, and this is coming from social media: social conversations about the sandwich have declined 13% over the past year. We are stopping talking about sandwiches. We can't have that. Sandwiches need to stick around. Sandwiches are a staple of America, a staple of the world. We cannot have them deteriorating on social media. Those of you who are posting pictures of your food, make it a sandwich. Hashtag your sandwich. Like I didn't do today. I didn't see the survey till after. So if I would have seen the survey before, I would have taken a picture of my sandwich and Vandy's sandwich, and I would have shared it for the world to see, and we could have busted these numbers up. Over 60% of restaurants offer sandwiches on their menu. The dominating diet for a sandwich is vegan. Vegan sandwiches on the rise. And the majority of people in America consider a sandwich a snack. There's no way that's real. This makes me question the entire survey. But all that to say, I then found the top 5 sandwiches being ordered in America from Insider Monkey and Yahoo, who had the story on this. And this was done research-wise based on sales in America. So there's a different list that I found that included at-home sandwiches. I wanted to leave out the at-home sandwiches. I wanted it to be when you're at the restaurant buying sandwiches, what are people spending their money on? Because last year, $39.16 billion were spent on sandwiches. Whoa! Globally. $39.16 billion spent globally on sandwiches. So I wanted to know where this money's going. Mainly because I wanted to see if my sandwich was there. Because I'm a French dip guy. If there's not a French dip on the menu, I'm probably going with some kind of like turkey melt would probably be my next pick. But I do love a French dip. So I'm like, where's my French dip? Is it top 5? I will tell you, it was not. I was very bummed out about this. They had the top 20. Meatball subs sneaking in at number 20. My French dip fell at number 5. Or number 15. Number 15, excuse me. The top 10 for you, I'll just real quickly run over the 10 to 5. Reuben, turkey sandwich. Peanut butter jelly sandwich, number 8. God bless kid menus at restaurants. And the peanut butter jelly sandwich is an all-time sandwich, should always be a top 10 sandwich. I'm very thankful it is top 10 in terms of purchased sandwiches in the U.S. Grilled chicken sandwich, number 7. Cuban sandwich, number 6. So let's get into the top 5. Here are the top 5 sandwiches being ordered in America in 2023 and coming into 2024. And let's judge them, shall we? Number 5, a club sandwich. A club sandwich is real good. A club sandwich is real good. As I mentioned, often prepared as a triple-decker sandwich, commonly made with beef, chicken, or turkey. There is a theory that says the sandwich got its name from either the Saratoga Clubhouse or the Union Club, both in New York, and believed to be the places where club sandwiches were first made. I will always believe that a club sandwich was made in New York, and I do not know why that is. I've always thought that. I must have heard this old wives' tale back in the day. But a club sandwich to me screams New York, or it screams golf club. It's got the word club in it. I just assume people go to a clubhouse, and I know that it's a golf clubhouse, but the restaurant part of a clubhouse seems like a place you should get a club sandwich. It's just I always think of golf when I think of a club sandwich. Number 4, the BLT. I don't like BLTs. I said it. I said it out loud. I've always sort of lied about that. I don't despise a BLT. If I get a BLT, I'm okay with it. I need more meat. I need more meat than B. The B is not enough meat in my sandwich. I love some L. I love some T. But the B is not enough in my sandwich for my protein. I need some T. I need some H. I would even take the other B. But yeah, BLT, they're good. They're not great. It's number 4 on the list. Food experts say the bacon has to be crispy, crunchy, and hot, whereas the tomatoes must be thinly sliced and fresh. Yeah, I understand a BLT. It's very refreshing. It's a very refreshing summer sandwich, I do believe. But for me, I need more meat in my sandwich, which is why number 3 is a great sandwich. And God bless you, Arby's, for making them like you do and making them great. Roast beef sandwiches, number 3 most sold sandwich in the United States, and it deserves to be there. The roast beef sandwich made with rye bread consists of roasted beef, tomatoes, and lettuce. But I will say, if you just get a good old-fashioned Arby's roast beef sandwich without any of the extra stuff, and you get yourself a bunch of horsey sauce, that sandwich is, whoa, mama good. I don't know if whoa, mama good, I think is really good. I'm hoping that it is really good. One of the most popular sandwiches in America. It's now available in most food chains, including Starbucks. Screw you, Starbucks. Screw you. Second shout out to John. John did mention to me the other day, how good would Shea Gilgeous-Alexander look in a Sonics jersey? Thanks. Thanks, Johnny. Number 2, I respect this sandwich. I am not a breakfast guy, but it doesn't surprise me that a breakfast sandwich made it on this list at number 2, the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. Fair. Not in my top 5, not in my top 10, but I get it at number 2, and I have no problems with it being at number 2. A bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich is such a good sandwich, and it's good. I feel like it's good all day. You can do that sandwich. That's a breakfast sandwich for dinner would be great. But in the morning, even me who hates breakfast, I don't hate it, but even me who doesn't eat breakfast all the time, you throw a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich in front of me, I'm going to eat it. The story goes here. The buttered, crispy chicken and scrambled eggs. Oh, hang on. Place buttered, crispy chicken and scrambled eggs topped with cheese on a pair of toasted breads, and you're good to go. That is crispy chicken is not bacon. So I don't know what they're doing there. Bacon, egg, and cheese. The B in that sandwich is okay. I want that to be not crispy B though. I want my bacon on a bacon, egg, and cheese to be a little bit softer. The number one sandwich in America. I had one today. I made one at home today for lunch. It is the most purchased sandwich in America. A lot of Americans prefer to butter their bread for this sandwich from the outside. And it was first introduced to the United States in the 1920s. And it's the good old-fashioned grilled cheese sandwich. Grilled cheese sandwich, number one seller in America last year. I respect this list. I don't love the BLT, but I get why it's on there. And I have no beef. Well, you have no beef, people who love it. But I have no beef with you who love a BLT. You love a BLT. I think that's a good, solid top 5. We need to be talking about sandwiches more, people. Don't let them go away, as that one weird survey showed. We are not talking enough sandwiches. I guess if I had to choose from those top 5, grilled cheese would be my favorite. Roast beef would be my second favorite. Club sandwich would be my third of those top 5. I mean, I guess the weird thing when I look at it, I don't think I would order any of those. Like when I went to Winchell's today, I don't think I would order roast beef, a club, or a grilled cheese there. I don't think I would. I would go with a melt. I would go with a French dip. And then if they didn't have one of those, I'd probably figure out what their special was for the day and go with that one. Maybe it would be one of the ones that I just said I wouldn't get. All right. So there's some sandwich talk for you. Well, if you want, and you want to play the game in the comments, YouTube people who go to seanslife.com for the comments, what is the sandwich of sandwiches? What is, I think I would take 2 answers. What is the sandwich you make at home that is king or queen, whichever you want, whichever one, king or queen of your house? And which is the king or queen of sandwiches when you are out at a restaurant and you're going to go to the sandwich portion of the menu? You're going to go to the what do they call them? Shareables. I wanted to call them the handables. That doesn't sound good. Everything I was going to say with the word hand sounded bad. So let's just go with the sandwich section. When you go to the sandwich section, what sandwich are you getting at a restaurant? Thank you.
Kelly's, what are you into?
I'm a movie guy again. And by again, it means I've watched 2 movies this week. I haven't been able to sleep. My brain's just been all over the place lately with a lot of just life stuff. And so I have not been sleeping well. And instead of just closing my eyes and forcing myself to sleep, I've just been watching movies, whether it's on my phone or I'll walk back downstairs and turn on the TV and I'll watch a movie. And so I watched Dune and I loved it. I talked to Darnay about it. Darnay did not like it. Ryan liked it. I loved it. Marcus and I we had a long phone call the other day where he was breaking down all the stuff that I might have missed from Dune. I thought it was fantastic. It makes me want to go back and watch the 1984 movie. But the reason I'm not doing that is the 1984 movie covers everything from the first Dune book, whereas the new movies, the one that's coming out, I guess today, I think it comes out today, Friday the 1st of March. I think that's right. Anyways, these movies are part 1, part 2. If I went and watched the 84 one, I would have spoiled what's coming up in part 2 of the current Dune movies. I loved it though, man. And I got to say, I loved Timothée Chalamet. I thought he was great. But yeah, I thought it was a cool movie. So what did I follow it up with? I threw it back to a movie from 1999 that I had never watched, but always heard of and heard people liked it. And someone recommended it to me and said, have you ever seen The Mummy? The Mummy. 1999's The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. That one. I had not seen it. And so I went and watched it. It was everything I needed it to be. It was 1999 in a nutshell, from the actors to the special effects to just how it looks. It was great. I loved The Mummy. And the story was super cheesy, and it was choppy at times with how they were doing things. A lot of it just seems so hokey. They're digging in a dig site in Egypt that they all think is haunted. There are guys coming and fighting them in the night to clear them out of this area, and they fight these guys off. The place is haunted, and they're still just taking nighttime breaks and sleeping just casually. After they've stirred the pot and had one guy die, they're just like, you know what? We got to get back at this tomorrow. Let's all go upstairs and let's just take a nice long snooze because we're all so calm being here. But whatever. Also, Brendan Fraser is great in that movie. And I weirdly liked Brendan Fraser when I was younger. We're talking junior high, high school, when he kind of had his run in the late 90s. And I never knew what happened to him. I knew he came back. What was it? The movie The Whale? Was that what it was called? And he won his Oscar. And I never saw that movie. But Brendan Fraser was so famous in the late 90s. He was in big movies. He was in The Mummy. He was in George of the Jungle. He was, was he in Encino Man? What was the Brendan Fraser movie? Wasn't he in one with Alicia Silverstone? Let me see. Hang on. I loved her. Brendan Fraser. Was it the one where they went into the bomb shelter? Let me see. Is that? Let me see. Blast from the Past. There it is. Alicia Silverstone, my high school crush, and Brendan Fraser, Blast from the Past, a 1999 American romantic comedy that I loved. 58% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 100% in my heart. And Brendan Fraser was famous. So I had never followed his story to see what happened to him. I did not realize he had a lot of medical issues doing stunts for the Mummy movies and had to have a ton of surgeries done and was in constant state of recovery from these things for a number of years. His mom died, and so he went through a lot of stuff with his mom passing away and burying his mom and just working through that. And so he has this very long time where he's gone from Hollywood that I thought he had just been kind of either done with acting, he chose it, or maybe the directors and casting crews just were done with Brendan Fraser. No, it was injuries and personal life stuff. And I found it to be very interesting, and I enjoy Brendan Fraser. So, The Mummy, my Kelly's What Are You Into? A movie from 1999. I will take movie requests, weird movie requests. This was one of their favorite, how did they word it? One of their favorite hokey movies was The Mummy. So I appreciate the suggestion on that. All right, I don't have any cool buttons to close out the show or get into Survivor talk, but we got to do the comments. We'll do the comments, and then we'll do Survivor. We've got a couple comments. I need to see if there was any on the YouTubes that need to be brought up here. This is good podcasting. Me going is, if you've listened to the podcast enough, that is my absolute least favorite thing to hear on a podcast is the word We've got this. Let's see. This is from Russ. Okay, this is from Russ. He said, shaving outside, we throw it back to the shaving conversation. Shaving outside is the best. The birds can use the hair for their nests. Is that real, Russ? Oh, man, if that's real, I now have no problem when I shave in the driveway or in the garage and sweep the hair out into the grass by the driveway. I have no problem with that now. I'm just helping the birds. I'm a bird guy. If you got a problem with me, take it up with the birds. Spotify, let's go there. I think we have a couple comments on Spotify. We do. We have got, I think, 2 of them. One of them from Ron, who we haven't heard from in a while. Ron, good to have you back in the comments. But Yvonne says this, for slime, no glitter in it. Okay. Maybe that, Drez, is that the thing that makes it so messy? Is it the glitter? Because if that's all it is that makes it messy, Yvonne, and the glue and glue, baking soda, water, and some contact solution. If that stuff doesn't get messy, I might still reconsider visiting that. If it's the glitter, I'm out on the glitter. I just want to put food coloring in it, and we just make blobs of slime. Yvonne said, I've had an eventful week. Both boys in the hospital. Andrew on Sunday, Calvin Tuesday. Not fun for a mom. They're doing better now. Yvonne, I'm sorry about that. That stinks. In the hospital. Yikes. Yeah, that's not fun at all. I'm glad they're doing better. Please tell them both hello. Send them my love. That's a lot. That's a lot for a mom right there. And I know you do it well. So I'm sure they got showered with love, which is great for them. But yeah, that stinks. Ron says this. Ron, welcome back. Ron says the chicken crispinata is so freaking good. Ron, thank you for supporting this. That is one of the best Taco Bell limited menu items of all time. This family loved the naked chicken chalupa, and this one to me is right up there with it. Ron goes on to say, also, I got a black eye playing baseball in junior high right before Halloween. And when I went to school for Halloween, nobody believed it was real. LOL. That is hilarious timing. Ooh, a baseball black eye. So here's my baseball head injury. We used to play, growing up in Venezuela, just the weird Venezuela stories. I feel like I have a lot of these I should share over time on the podcast. But when we were young, there was a stretch where we would find, it was Micah Huffman, Kenny Beefus, and me. We would go and find a stick that would be our bat. So you'd get a stick, and then we'd whittle it, so you could like whittle down a little bit of a handle, so it was a little bit thinner to grasp at the bottom of a stick that you got. It could be any thickness. It didn't matter. The measurements didn't matter. You just had to be able to swing it. So we'd take the bark off it. We'd like write our names in them. So we all had our bats, and then we would find pine cones that hadn't bloomed. I guess would be bloomed. They haven't opened up yet, so they're just the pine cones. They're really pokey, which was our mistake, but they're really, really hard. And so they weren't rocks, but they were these pine cones, and we would just collect a ton of them, and we'd play baseball with them. We'd just pitch. I mean, we're throwing as hard as we can with these things and just crushing pine cones back, trying to just send them over whatever fake wall we had for home runs. And I was pitching to Micah one time, and I pitched one, it went outside, he swung at it, and it went right at the middle and hit me directly above my eye. I had a scar for a long time. Well, I had a scar when I was young. I had a scar right on my hairline, and then when I'm older, my hairline went to the back of my head, so it looked like it was right by my eyebrow. That was cool. But I had a scar for a long time. I don't think it's still there anymore, but it rocked my world. It rocked my world. And I remember being panicked to tell my parents. So Micah, Kenny, and I went and we got all the toilet paper and paper towels out of the bathroom on the school campus and brought them out to the field. And I sat there and held them on my forehead for like an hour while they continued to play pinecone baseball, and I was bleeding out on the field. So there's a story no one asked for right there, but it's great memory, core memory for me. Those good old pinecone baseball days. Ian says this, if you want to comment on the website, seanslife.com, big comment board right there at the top of the page. Ian says, hi, Snidette. Okay, we got some comments for Snidette, who had asked last podcast about platforming games for her Nintendo Switch. Hi, Snidette. RPGs might not be your thing, but one that fits the JRPG genre like Golden Sun have puzzles galore. So I think he said Golden Sun. There's a mid-end game area in the first two. Every floor is a new puzzle, and some have mini puzzles inside the actual puzzle. So that sounds fun, like a really fun puzzle game. Not a platformer, but that does sound enjoyable. I've never played it. He said, if they have a trial, please check it out. I will gladly let Sean give out my contact info if you need help. Perfect. Ian, there you go. So let me know, Snidette. Golden Sun. I did feel bad when I thought about it later, Snidette. I wrote them down here. I had 4 more suggestions for your Switch that I did not give you. So 3. This one's a little bit more tricky. Dead Cells. Dead Cells is a little more advanced platforming. It's hard. So if you're looking for something that you can enjoy, like it's got a little bit of a challenge, but you can beat, Dead Cells is a little tougher. Celeste, beautiful game, platformer, also difficult, but that game, I really loved it. Indie game, again, the graphics are cool, the music is cool in it, sweet environments. I'd highly recommend Celeste. That one has a lot of like timing with how you jump and different kind of jumps you can do. Cool game, Celeste. Ori the Collection was another one I wanted to throw out there for you, and Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. Those are 4 that I had not mentioned. So, Snidette, if you want to check any of those out, if you go to YouTube, you type in Dead Cells, Celeste, Ori the Collection, or Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, maybe just go type them in, watch a 5-minute gameplay video of them, a review of them, so you can see what they look like. I really like those 4 games. So, there you have it. And finally, one last comment for you before we get into the Survivor Talk. Scotty says this, dang, what does the other guy look like? She didn't look as bad. I took the brunt of it. Star Wars is the only good Disney movies. May the Force be with you. Oh, man, I want to disagree with you, but I find myself always wanting to click on Star Wars when I open up Disney Plus. And the other day, thank goodness, we had our TV time. Olivia had her TV time. And so we're after dinner. We're kind of winding down for the day. And she let me, no, this was not then. because after dinner we do Danny Go. This was during rest time. So Huck's taking his nap. This is when parents try to clear their head. We do rest time with Olivia. She gets to watch a show for a little bit and hopefully chill out. And I opened up Disney Plus, and weirdly, she remembered like liking the Star Wars theme, the Imperial March song when she was a kid, and she just had this weird revelation of I like Star Wars. And on top of the page was a big banner for Young Jedis. I think that's what it's called. And she wanted to watch it, and we watched all afternoon because I got into it, and it was one of those moments as a parent. I was like, this is it. Huck woke up. I brought him down. I'm like, we're watching Young Jedis until we're watching this forever. Because as long as I can not watch the other things you want to watch, Olivia, the weird YouTube music channels, I want to watch these Young Jedis and feel like I'm watching a real show. So yeah, shout out to Star Wars stuff on Disney Plus. Thanks for listening. We're going to talk Survivor here now. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I really do appreciate it. If you are watching on YouTube, please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you could. That'd mean a lot to me. Put a comment on there. That'd be cool as well. But as we slowly grow the YouTube channel, it's sweet. Okay, so for Survivor Talk today, this is not going to be how it goes. There's going to be a little more format to how we do Survivor Talk moving forward this season. I'm real excited for this season. After one episode, I'm real excited. I think I left episode 1 uninterested in maybe 2 or 3 people. Maybe. The whole cast was interesting to me, and I found myself enjoying every scene with every character, which is so rare in Survivor. Normally, you get into a scene where there's 2 people talking on a trail somewhere, and I'm like, I don't like either of them. Come on, next scene. Or I'm just frustrated with how they're doing, and I don't want them to do well. Every scene I was in, a great array of characters this season. It seems like we're looking at a lot of walks of life. People with money, people without it, a lot of people who really like the game. I'm sure there are going to be some who are new to the game. I'm amazed with this cast of characters. So I just wanted to spotlight 5 of them tonight that with one episode in, 5 names that stood out to me. And it was really hard to do because I wrote down all the people who stood out to me in the first episode, and there was 11. And so I wanted to cut it down to 5. And these were just 5 knee-jerk players that stood out to me in week 1 that I'm excited to see moving forward. Q didn't make my top 5, but I'm excuse me. I'm cheering for Q. Personally cheering for Q. I've got him in our Survivor Pick'em. I think he's cool. And so I'm always cheering for like the former athletes, and he's a former football player at some level. So I am cheering for him. But here are the 5. Tiffany, she's on the Purple Tribe. She got the immunity necklace in the first week, and I think she's rad. And I'm real excited for her this season because she has a no-nonsense attitude going into Survivor. She understands what the goal is. The goal is to win $1 million. She knows it's a show and a game. I think that's super important, where it's not as emotional to her, and I think that helps you with the actual game. She's there to win $1 million. And I think she could manipulate her way through a lot. I do fear that Tiffany could run into a time where she wants it so bad, she might get a little overbearing. And that could be her downfall. But man, she stood out in episode 1 as someone I'm real excited to watch this season. Buna. I think that's how you say his name. Bhuna. This dude is gonna be awesome this season. I am so excited he's on the show. I want him on for a very long time. I think he's great for Survivor. Maximum likability. He's going to have maximum likability with other people on the island. He's real, and he loves the situation he's in. So last season, we had Austin, who made it to the end, came in second place, and there was multiple times during the season, Austin talked about being in the moment and appreciating being on Fiji. They had the one scene with him sitting on the beach. Everyone else is hungry and irritated and tired. And he was like sitting on the beach, watching the sunset, going, this is so beautiful. What an opportunity. And I think it's a hard thing to muster up when you're tired and hungry and sometimes freezing cold on the island. But Buna seems to have that vibe of, of understanding the situation he's in and being excited and appreciating the little things. He ate an ant in the first episode and was like, I ate my first Survivor ant. I think he's got it. The maximum likability and the loving the situation is a deadly recipe. And I'm excited to watch him go. I'm assuming he's about to become a challenge beast. He looks like he's in really good shape. And so he might have that ability to survive some of those really tough endurance challenges. And I appreciated him. There was a moment that I really liked from him in the first episode. And it was when the 3 tribes had just finished up the immunity challenge. They lost because Jelinski or whatever his name was. So happy he's off the show. He was one of the people I did not enjoy. But they lose their immunity challenge. And Probst asked, how's it feel? And he started crying. And they were like, it wasn't tears of, I don't feel like it was like this emotional thing. It was the emotions of, we have to vote someone off. Not the emotions of like, I could be voted off. We have to vote someone off. He loves Survivor so much. It was like he never wanted to lose the challenge. I don't know. Buddha stood out. He was rad. Jem, name 3, Jem. I thought she was cool. I think she has a good vibe to her. Her interviews on the side were very good because she's sarcastic and she is there to be manipulative and play the outwit part of the game, which I love so much in Survivor. But then on the beach scenes, very nice, very likable, and seemed to reach out to, I forget who it was. I think it was Mariah. I'm trying to remember some of the names, but the gal that she connected with, it was somebody who didn't seem, and I think they even mentioned how they can be socially awkward, and Jem just brought him in, which is huge in Survivor because you're going to get people who are socially awkward, who are kind of out there trying to find their place. And if you're Jem and you can bring them in, you've got allies for life. Allies for life. Jem's going to be deadly. I really enjoyed her the first episode. Hunter may be the person I'm cheering for the most right now because I think his story is really cool, and I really liked how he carried himself in the first episode because Hunter was about to go one of 2 ways. He got into a tribe where Taylor Swift's talk started happening. I think that was his tribe. Oh, no. He was in the tribe where they started doing the camp stuff. Soda started doing the camp stuff. They were doing songs. They were just goofing around, and it was very childish, and I could see how it would be very annoying. If I was on the island, I would be extremely annoyed by it, and I would be a baby. And they were just doing their cheesy thing, and Hunter, small town Hunter, who is introvert style, is not, you can just tell like he's uncomfortable around other people. Instead of him complaining about it, and he even mentioned, I don't like camp songs, but instead of complaining about it, he embraced it and was like, look, this is the situation I'm in. He went to, I think his name's Tevin, and was like, look, man, I'm going to need to learn how to sing. You're going to have to teach me how to sing. And he took something that could have been a negative, turned it into a positive, and I really love his mindset going in, where it is going to be, get out of my comfort zone, allow myself to be comfortable outside of my comfort zone, and take advantage of the situation I'm in. I thought he came out smelling like roses. He was also a challenge beast. He was pretty much carrying the gecko over the platform. They had to get this 500-pound gecko over a wall, and he was one of did most of the work for his team. He's a beast. I'm big in on Hunter. And then Maria is the mom, and she's just going to be deadly. She's got I can't remember her name. Number 1 winner. I want to say Sophie, but that's not who it is. Sandra. She's got Sandra written all over her, right? Maybe a little bit older, has kids, no nonsense, and is about to just tough her way through conversations and situations. And she's very intimidating, but not in a mean way. Maria is going to be set up to be a powerhouse. She plays her cards right. She might be smooth sailing for a long way in Survivor. And we'll see how she does in challenges. Okay, so there's some Survivor talk. I'm really excited for this season. I think it's going to be extremely good. Again, cast of characters, top notch. Season 1 or episode 1, 2 thumbs up. Well done. That's it for today's episode. I appreciate everyone listening. I hope your weekend goes well. And if you want to talk Survivor, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Instagram, Sean T. Widmer. I would love to message about Survivor Anytime, all the time. Michael, text me immediately after you watch Survivor. Thanks.